Story 1. Finally the only mama. I got my revenge 14 years later. I've had to create an anonymous account for this post, and I know my MIL will probably recognize this story. So, MIL, if you're reading this, please don't look at my other posts from my real account. Smiley face. For context, my MIL is a Reddit fan. 14 years ago, when my daughter was born, I went through the same issue I see so many others experiencing now. MIL wanting to be called Mama. I tried all the classic methods, trying to train my daughter to call me Mom. But for some reason, it never worked. Maybe it was the cousins who called MIL Mama, and the fact that MIL babysat every week. Despite my best efforts, my daughter called her Mama, and I was just Mommy for a while. I cried about it. Oh, I cried. I vented to anyone who would listen. My MIL, my FIL, my husband, even my sister-in-law. My daughter called us both Mama until she finally graduated to Mom when she turned 3. The smugness of my MIL during all of this was unbearable. She would say things like, "I told you so. I was always going to win. I made it my hill to die on." And I lost. Over the years, it got easier, but it still stung. Fast forward to today. After reading so many threads about this issue, I decided it was time to have a talk with my daughter, who is now 14 and in that hormonal phase. I want to tell her the truth about why she called her paternal grandma Mama and my own mother Grandma. To my surprise, she was really taken aback. She said she always knew I was her real mom, but she was upset that I had never told her the full story. I assured her it wasn't her fault and that I didn't blame her. Well, today we left my MIL's house, and as soon as we arrived home, my SL and BIL showed up with their kids. My MIL greeted my daughter, and my daughter turned around and said, "Good evening, Allison." Grandma Allison. My MIL, of course, was taken aback and said, Who told you to say that?" and shot me a look. That when my sweet daughter turned to everyone in the room and said, "So, was everyone bullied by Allison into calling her Mama? I can't believe you all pressure my mom into it and made me call her Mama when I was just a toddler." I always felt weird when my friends joked about me calling another woman Mama, and now I know why. If my mom didn't want that, you all should have respected it. And by the way, Allison, I've seen your true colors. I never thought of you as my mama. I just went along with it because that's what I was taught. I always knew you were just the old woman with the same name as my mom. Everyone in the room was in total shock. Then she finished with, "From now on, you're Allison." My dad's mom, Allison. I finally got my revenge. I've been waiting a long time for this moment, and it felt so good. So, Allison, if you're reading this, shame on you. You made me feel like I wasn't good enough and told me that my daughter thought you were her real mom and I was just a caretaker. Thank you for showing me who you really are. If any of you are going through a similar situation, I hope it works out for you. Just remember, you'll always be your daughter's number one. Comment 1. Oh my, that revenge is so sweet. Comment 2. Tell your daughter she is a totally awesome, amazing person. I am blown away by her calling out Allison. All the kudos to her for her blindingly shiny spine. And if you're reading this, Allison, absolutely shame on you. What kind of person tries to destroy a mother-daughter relationship? A horrible one. That's who. Comment 3. Hey Allison, you weren't even close to being your grandchildren's mama. They knew who their mama was, and it sure as shit wasn't you. 14-year-old, you are one smart girl. You did good. And yes, you should have shamed your family and good for you. See your little baby cousin. She'll have you to thank that Allison will now stay in her lane. Comment 4. This is a thread in which I'd just love to see the MIL attempt to defend her own behavior. You knew you were hurting your daughter-in-law, Allison. Why do you keep it up? Did you enjoy causing that pain? Story 2. I finally got to shut the door in my JustNoMil face. I posted recently about my in-laws coming to visit in their RV and expecting us to go see them the very first night they arrived. Well, the rest of their trip went about as I expected. We didn't really talk. His mom didn't say a single word to me until today, when she finally asked how much my daughter eats, and then, eventually, if I was recovering okay from my emergency C-section 12 weeks later. While we were all sitting together, she asked my husband to take a photo with her and the baby. Just them. I was completely left out. And while I already don't get along with her, it was the blatant disrespect plus probably hormones that really hit me. I was upset and honestly had to leave the room because I was on the verge of tears, something that's never happened before. I told my husband how hurt I was, so he went back out and said, "Let's get a picture of all of us, trying to make things right." But by that point, they were already grabbing their coats, heading for the door, and had just handed the baby off to my husband to put down for a nap. She half-heartedly said she wanted one of all of us, right as they were leaving. So I said no. You got what you wanted, and that somehow offended her. This is only the second time I've ever seen my husband actually call her out. But even then, she kept going, talking about how I'm the awful one while hugging him and saying how much she loves him. I finally told her she could leave. My husband backed me up, telling her what she did wasn't okay. She tried to blame me for us moving further away from them, to be closer to my family, and threw in that now that I'm a mother, I should understand. I told her I do understand, and that I'd never treat my daughter's partner this way. As she stood at the door, trying to tell me what a wonderful person she is, I just said, "Drive safe," and closed the door in her face. Comment 1. I know it might not feel like success, but finding your voice and speaking the truth is a powerful success. She got what she wanted. And you spoke it. She reacted honestly, and DH saw it. No denying what happened. No, she didn't mean it that way, and DH told her off. Though I wish he had shut the door in her face, the symbolism of you shutting it in her selfish, all-about-me face was priceless. Great job, you two. Now nail it shut. DH can navigate his relationship with his nasty mom. But her blatant disrespect cost her 2 relationships, you and LO. Can't call mommy AB*TCH and expect a relationship. Comment 2. The photo shall forever be enshrined as a memento of the last moment she could have had a modicum of grace and, instead, shut the door on having a relationship with her grandchild. Comment 3. No more visits. Tell the hag to park her RV up her ass sideways. Comment 4. This will be the last time she ever saw my child. When I got to the point of cutting contact with my father-in-law and sister-in-law, I told my husband that I would not interfere if he wanted a relationship with them, but requested that he did not share anything about the children or me. He appreciated that I didn't ask him to cut ties with them, but he felt it was in the best interest of our family if they were completely removed from our lives. After about 10 years, my husband decided to reach out to his dad. Turns out the man hadn't changed one bit and was as awful as ever. My sister-in-law's own children went no contact with her in their mid-teens, so I know she also never changed. Comment 5. I can only imagine how satisfying that was for you. She should never be back in your home again if she can't respect you. Your husband could go visit them if he wants, but you and baby are a unit. Story 3. I overheard Emile criticizing me on the nanny cam while I was recovering from a traumatic birth in the hospital. My relationship with my mother-in-law, Emile, was always decent. Nothing overly close, but generally respectful. That started to change once I became pregnant. While she regularly asked how I was doing, she often redirected the conversation to her own pregnancy stories from 30-plus years ago. She's also the type to share Facebook articles in the family group chat as if they're indisputable truth. Then came the early arrival of my baby. It was a rough experience. I had several complications and, truthfully, came close to dying more than once. My baby had to undergo a week of antibiotics and multiple tests. Thankfully, she's strong and recovering well, though she needed to stay in the nursery a bit longer due to being underweight and born early. During that time, my Emile moved in temporarily to help out around the house. I made a point to thank her whenever I could, even though I was still in the hospital and physically recovering. The issue started when we were preparing for my discharge. The hospital planned to transfer my baby to another facility in the same network, one that was closer to home, just 40 minutes away. My doctor, who had been incredible throughout everything, signed off on the transfer. It was policy to keep mother and baby together when possible. But my Emile was furious. She threw a tantrum about the move, claiming it would interrupt the baby's progress. She even made a call to someone, still not sure who, to complain about it. She accused me of being a liar, saying I just blindly accepted what my doctor said without doing any research. By research, she meant Googling. Meanwhile, my husband is literally a professional scientist, and I trust my OB completely. This is a woman who saved my life twice. I chose her for a reason, even though her care came at a higher cost. I didn't even know what had happened at first. I found out because we have a camera at home to keep an eye on our pets, and while checking in, I overheard her ranting about me. I told my husband, and he was furious. He called her right away and confronted her. He didn't share all the details with me at the time, wanting to protect me from more stress, but he said they'd talk more once things calmed down. She did apologize, kind of. First, she accused him of spying on her, then sent me a short text saying sorry. When I got home, she gave me a hug and apologized again, but I was too out of it from medication to really process everything. Now that the dust has settled, I realize I can't just let it go. Her behavior crossed a line, calling me a liar, doubting my judgment, undermining my doctor, and all while I was recovering from a traumatic birth. I'm also worried that if I don't address this properly, she'll become an overbearing presence as a grandmother. Comment 1. Sounds like Emile isn't sorry. She's just sorry she got caught. Opie is right. She needs to set boundaries now, looking to the future. Comment 2. You're not spying on her if it is your house and your cameras. A classic move to make her badly behaving self the victim. Be sensitive to this kind of thing. She could easily think everything to do with your daughter is up for debate and her approval. Comment 3. I'd say she let the mask slip and it's time she left. Calling you a dramatic liar after the experience you've had is so gross. They really can't help themselves, can they? I hope you are healing well, and congrats on the little one. Comment 4. Might become overbearing? Opie, she already is. She inserted herself into your child's medical care behind your back and is critical of your parenting decisions, and baby is only a few weeks old. Time to change her return date home ASAP. She needs to go. If you made it to the end of the video, Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.